Hi, I'm Irina Baker, a spiritual self-awareness mentor, and I'm here with a remarkable woman and my happy client, Archana Nath. And she lives in England, actually. She's not even in the US, so she will speak with her lovely accent, British accent, which I love because when I was in Russia, I was studying the royal language, the British, right? And so at the beginning, when I moved to America, that was many years ago, people would ask, "Are you from England?" And for me, that was the best compliment because obviously Russian has nothing to do with English. And I was saying, wow, that means I know English so well that people think that they don't see any mistakes. They just think I'm from England because I was talking with that British accent. Then I switched to American, and then of course it's heavy American accent with Russian accent. So go figure. But I love England. I love everything about it. And here I got the chance to work with a British citizen. And here she is. Hi, Archana.
Hi, Irina.
And I will explain why she's such a remarkable woman at the end, because we will talk about that. But first of all, I want to ask you, Archana, you found me online. You didn't even know anything about me. What was your life like? Why did you even find me?
I was stuck in my life. I was stuck emotionally, spiritually, financially. I felt rubbish inside, and I just knew that I had to heal from within me to create a better life. And I went Googling for a spiritual healer, and you were one of the people I found. And actually, you were the first one I found.
The power of Google, right? And that's
Yes.
that's amazing by itself.
And I read your website, I read your testimonials, and I read what you were trying to achieve. And I knew and I believe in the divine, I believe in my guides, and I knew I would be guided to the right teacher. And when I saw you and saw your testimonials, I knew I was going to be working with the right teacher for me at that time.
And of course, I always say I am blessed with my clients, and you are absolutely no exception because it was such a delight working with you. So
Thank you.
thank you, Google.
Yeah, thank you, Google.
Thank you, Google. World Web for everybody. On the scale, I recently started looking at numbers, and I asked my clients on the scale from 0 to 10, what in 3 months, because we worked for 3 months, how did you change? What's the number?
I was at 0, and working with you for 3 months, I reached to 8 of well-being.
Wow. Are you happy with the result?
Yes.
8 is a pretty high number, right? And numbers don't lie, so that's pretty remarkable as well.
It was very significant, yes.
Yeah. And also, when at the initial consultation, of course, I was asking what your life is all about and what do you want and what you are. And so you mentioned that you felt insignificant and insecure. You were not seen, and you wanted to have better presence, to be more powerful. And we also looking at the scale. So on the scale from 0 to 10, you were at
0.
0.
And I think I would say I reached 12.
Which is very good, right? Who said we can stop at 10? We could go on. I had clients who started at minus 25 and then they came into positive high. So we can do any number, of course. And again, that's pretty remarkable, right? That's a great result. And yes.
Yes.
So the next one is finances. Just 3 short months. So we're not talking about that a big sack of money fell on your head and hit your head, right? And then you got into hospital because of that. But how in the financial department, what changes have you gotten?
I learned better methods and to control my urges and understand why I had the urges. So before, I would go out and be a spendthrift. So if I went into a town, I would go and buy a cardigan because I was bored or I was feeling an emotional need to fill a void. But now I watch my money and I go and buy a chocolate, something small. I try not to create more debt, which is something I've got already. I create something positive, which is I will not create debt. I will create financial security instead. And that's what I'm focusing on.
So you are on the way. You got a jump start to move forward. And
yeah, I got a jump start not to fulfill my destructive behavior, to keep following a better path instead, and to recognize my destructive behavior, which I wasn't before your system.
And in fact, it continues, meaning the good habit is already continuing, because you mentioned several times today, and we didn't see each other for a couple of weeks, and you mentioned the first thing, you had ice cream and nothing else. So it's not like, oh, I've done it for 2 days and then I forgot about it. The changes are permanent. So you continue having the same behavior, the better behavior, and
yes.
You're not wasting money on stuff you don't need.
Yes, I'm watching my spending and watching my destructive behavior, yes.
Next one is self-worth and career. So what can you mention about that? Because you mentioned before that you felt not productive enough. What did that even mean?
I was a typical modern woman. I felt I wasn't productive enough. I needed to climb the corporate ladder. I needed more qualifications. But now I stop.
Even if you have an MBA already, yes. Right?
I always thought I need more qualifications, more certificates. I would rush out and join courses, but now I stop and think, no, I don't need that. I need to be enough with where I am. And there was a time, there's a position come up in my team for a team leader position. And before working with Irina, I would have jumped and applied for it and jumped all the hoops to get it. But now I've stepped back and say, no, I don't need the corporate ladder to justify myself. I will do it within me to do that. And I'm also looking at a career change where it's not about a corporate ladder, but more about working with people.
Right. And which is along your soul mission, right? Soul purpose. So it's more satisfying, more fulfilling.
Yes.
Obviously, from the very beginning, I taught you the system that I've created and the tools. And again, you saw me and you started happily telling me how you are using these tools and you're using the system in your day-to-day life. So what could you comment on that?
Yeah, the system taught me gratitude, appreciation, and I use this on a daily level to remind myself how grateful I am with this life. And the system taught me how to appreciate. And those are the things I carry forward every day and say, I'm grateful and thank you. And I also learned forgiveness, which was a hard one for me. I now forgive. And I try to create peace, which I wasn't doing before. Now it's about creating peace. And that my vibration and my energy is sending out peace and not anger, which was my normal default language.
Right. And that's huge for you because your anger was so strong and so encompassing for the last 17 years because of the trauma that happened before, that that's all you knew, right? For all these years. And now it's such a switch into a different way of being, right?
Definitely. And understanding that it's the emotion, vibration that you carry is the one that you need to acknowledge. So yes, I learned that from you.
So if you did not work with me, if you found me on the internet and then said, well, I can't trust, I don't know her, I need to think about it, right? People have all kinds of excuses. Oh, I don't know, I don't have the money, I can't trust, whatever. So what would you lose if you didn't work with me? What would happen?
I wouldn't be creating the peace in my life that I'm trying to create. I wouldn't be creating the financial security that I'm trying to create. I would have walked around with anger. I would have walked around responding with anger all the time, like I used to. And I would not have stopped and thought about how it's damaging me, and long term, how it's going to damage me further. I would not have stopped. Now I stop and think about that.
Right. And actually, I want to mention now, we can talk about something that why I believe you're such a remarkable person. Unfortunately, I would say you are unfortunate confirmation of the beliefs I teach. Unfortunate confirmation because for 17 years you lived in strong anger. You couldn't let go. You were in it, even though you tried. You had mentors before, right? You did your best, but it was still there, and you were not even aware how deep and deeply seated it was. So it created a stroke. So we just you just decided to work with me. You said yes. We decided, we scheduled, and then guess what happened?
I had a stroke.
You had a stroke. And from that, so we started working after your stroke almost immediately.
Yes.
So first of all, you were 3 months at home, and it was perfect timing for us to work for these 3 months. But at the same time, imagine people are trying to recover from the stroke itself. That's a huge thing, right? And here you are recovering from the stroke and having embarked on such a big thing as spiritual change. But if you didn't do that, what would happen? Would you recover as easily from the stroke?
I think working with you for those 3 months helped me deal with the stroke more positive. I actually, in a way, didn't feel the impact of it emotionally as much as I might have done if I hadn't worked with you, because there was a support system from you. There was an emotional support system that was coming through. And so I didn't feel a victim. Instead, I just dealt with it. And even it's quite remarkable. I dealt with it positively. I dealt with it with, okay, it's happened to me. Now let's move forward. And one of the good things that happened, because I started working with you, the divine opened up all doors for me. So all of a sudden, the right medical people came to help me. The right, I had rehabilitation given to me automatically. My company was supporting me through my illness. So while I was working with you, all of these good things started to happen as well. So the stroke didn't seem such a big impact as it would have done perhaps if I hadn't worked with you. And I'm sure working with you, opening up myself spiritually, the divine opened up other good things to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And if you imagine, if you had a stroke and you were still, because we already started working on releasing anger, but what if you continue being angry? What if you continue being how you were before? Obviously, a stroke would not be such a positive experience. I know stroke is never positive, but it's a blessing. We know that, right? For spiritual reasons. And it would be very different picture, right?
Yes, I really think that opening up spiritually really helped me connect to the divine, who then helped me with all of the healing that I managed to get from everywhere. And your kind friends who prayed for me, I think that lasted me for such a long time, that healing, that goodness that they gave me. So yes. And
yes, my other clients, we have a group when we focus on miracle manifesting, and yes, they prayed. We all prayed together, and you felt it. You said, right? You did feel it.
Yes, I did feel it. I felt I was being taken care of. I really do feel even now that I was being taken care of. And so this whole spiritual 3 months when I was recovering from the stroke and working with you, it seems magical in a way that, I've seen other stroke patients and they haven't been so lucky. I felt it's a magical experience, as in, like, how could the divine be so kind? He was so kind. And I had, when I was in hospital, people came to see me, people came to give me their support, their love, and I was astonished about how many people turned up. My work colleagues, I was astonished. I was like, God, do people really love me that much? I felt loved, you know, I really felt loved.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
my family and friends were there, but there were other people who I wasn't expecting turned up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My management from America, I work for an American company, sent me a hamper from America to, you know, to the hospital, which was so touching. And so I got to see people's humanity and people's kindness, which I don't think I would have seen or been open to receive if I wasn't doing the work with you.
That's right. That's right. Because that anger wouldn't let you
Yeah,
see
I
it.
think I just feel something opened up in me that the divine said, hey, I'm going to show you all the good, you know? And he did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And there was another tragic event that happened at the same time. So unfortunate, right? Because two major big tragedies happened. And how was that
Yes,
while working with me?
I lost my sister, my elder sister. Again, with your support, I was able to deal with my grief, and I was able to let go of her without anger and say, and let her go with peace. And that was hard. That was the most heartbreaking thing I've ever lived through, losing her. But yes, it helped me accept that. Yeah, it helped me accept that positively, and with with gratitude that she came into my world and that she was part of my life.
Mm-hmm. And at the same time, you were learning spiritual principles and spiritual ways of looking at everything. So it definitely shifted your perspective on the death, on why sister was in your life and what happened, why exactly it happened, right?
Yes, it did. It really helped me understand that, but what I came away from it was, thank you for bringing her into my life, divine, thank you. And I was so glad to have her in my life.
So imagine to live like that in life with the love in your heart and memory, but not being in anguish, not being angry all the time and cursing God and cursing life for taking away sister, giving you a stroke and having other events.
I think if I hadn't worked with you, that would have been the pattern I would have gone down. I would have gone down the victim mentality of, why have I got a stroke? Why have I been this? Why is my sister gone? I think it would have been, my ego would have taken over. But instead, I didn't let that happen. I let my spirituality, my heart, my soul take over and say, thank you to the universe, always thanking for everything that they gave me.
And that's why I called you a remarkable woman, because a person who's been in such a difficult turmoil and had a stroke, it was such a perfect excuse for you to get out of there, right? And not going with moving forward because, oh, I have a stroke here, I have an excuse. And you didn't take that way out. You did not. You just persisted, and it was not easy, definitely not. But what great results you've gotten.
Yes, it wasn't easy. I must admit, it wasn't easy, but it was worthwhile and very new. So it was new. It wasn't anything that was, something I'd already read in a positive book or something. It was new system. It's new. There's a lot of opening of new things and accepting new things.
And I usually say this system you can apply anywhere, anytime, at any moment when you want to do it. Do you think that's true?
Yes, I'm applying it all the time. I look at it and I think, okay, this is the reason why this is happening. This is what Irina taught me. I'm going to do this now. And I'm not going to show anger. I'm not going to show a destructive behavior. I'm going to find my positive and operate that way. So yes, even on a day-to-day basis.
Very good. And of course, you mentioned gratitude, and it's a big thing in your life, because to switch from anger to being blessed and feeling blessed and the gratitude and opening of your heart, that's quite remarkable as well in 3 months. So do you have any comments about gratitude and how you feel about that?
You know, there's a river near my town, and one time when I used to go to it, I could never sit down in peace and enjoy that space. But having worked with you, and I'm going to say having lost my sister, allowed me to slow down. And now I can walk to that river and just sit down and just breathe and feel the serenity that nature brings, which I could never felt. I'd never felt serenity before. So I can sit there for time. Before I just wanted to rush away, get back home, do something else. Now I can just say, okay, this is fine. This is an okay time. So yes, those things, those are very important.
Thank you, Archana, for all of this. And what would you say to people who perhaps they will find me on Google and they don't know me at all, and they're listening to this case study? What would you say to them about working with me?
I would recommend you to work with Irina to help you heal your wounds, to help you heal emotionally and spiritually, to help you understand your destructive behavior, if there is any, and to find the peace within you. And her system lasts longer, so you remember it, you follow it, and she will help you understand how to raise your vibration on an emotional level and a spiritual level where you are manifesting good things and not the same old pattern that you've been doing before. So yes, please work with Irina to help your life.
Thank you, Archana. I appreciate it. Once again, I want to shout to the whole world how remarkable you are, because what you went through, I'm not flattering, I'm seriously sincere about that, because to go through stroke, to have this intense spiritual process done with sincerity, with showing up, with being there, doing what you were supposed to do, getting great results, and at the same time losing your sister in the process and coping with that in such a remarkable way. I mean, all just words cannot describe what honor I feel that I have worked with you and helped you on your way, because you're moving forward and the world will hear from you about good stuff that you will do.
Thank you. And Irina, thank you very much for letting me work with you and for being my mentor and my teacher. Like I said, I believe in my divine. When they need to bring me in the teacher, they bring me in the right teacher. And for this time, you were my right teacher.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste. Bye-bye.
Bye.